across Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, we're back, and it's 6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Monday, June 9th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Colorado's blue, America's red. It all meets right here on the Jeff and Bill Show, where we encourage you and invite you to be a part of the conversation by giving us a call at 303-696-1971 or texting us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Both channels come in here to the studio so we can connect with you and you can share your thoughts, because this, my friends, is where Denver's voice is heard loud and clear. So grab a cup of coffee, pick up that phone, give us a call. Let's dive into the issues that matter most to you right here, right now. Coming up after news and comment with Blake Olson, John Decker, White House correspondent, is going to join us. John was the reporter who first asked President Trump about Elon Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill. Is their feud cooling off now, or will it get more contentious? Decker will tell us what it was like to be in the Oval Office when all of that happened. He'll be joining us a little bit after news and comment with Blake Olson. Then Rory O'Neill is going to give us an update in the 7 o'clock hour on what's happening in Los Angeles with the National Guard being called up because of the huge immigration protests that are taking place. Is this an overreach? Or did Gavin Newsom ignore the danger and not adequately protect federal immigration law enforcement? Lots to cover there. 8 o'clock hour, Congressman Gabe Evans will be joining us as a committee he sits on is going to be investigating rising anti-Semitism. It's just been a little bit over a week now since Jews were lit on fire in Boulder, Colorado. We'll be talking with Gabe Evans about the latest in that case, as well as what Congress is doing to confront growing anti-Semitism in America. And then a very interesting case now popping up in the city of Denver, a lawsuit against the city by apartment complex developers as to whether or not their inclusionary zoning rules is just an extortion scheme. This is where if you want to build apartments, you have to set aside a certain amount for low-income individuals. And in light of that, apartment complexes have to now raise the prices on everybody else to cover the lost, sunken cost of those low-income apartment complexes, or pay a fine, essentially a fee to the city if they don't want to do it. We'll cover that in the 9 o'clock hour. So, whole lot to talk about this morning, but now it's time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. Monday, 52 and sunny in Denver, expecting a high of 79 today. The 7-10 5-day forecast is coming up. Our top story.
So I hope these people would pause and just consider. Now, some of them, they want that kind of chaos. Some ways, I mean, you're seeing these authoritarian tendencies now are being acted out by this administration.
No. California Governor Gavin Newsom wants this and says the state will sue the Trump administration over its handling of protests. Yet notice how he and every lefty communist, they never go on the tube or social media and tell the public to stay home. Quit creating hell in the streets. That's because they love it. Paid protesters come in at night and they start blowing up cars and create all the crap that they can, flying Mexican flags everywhere, hoping one crazy will come in and kill somebody so they can blame it on 47.
So, Blake, on this issue, Babylon Bee did a joke headline that said, illegal immigrants carry the flags of their home countries to tell ICE where they'd like to be deported to.
Right.
And
exactly.
our friend JFab, John Fabricatori, retweeted it and said, "You're not entirely wrong."
Sure, exactly. Absolutely.
You're just telling us where you want us to send us, or where you want us to send them.
That's right. It's so funny. It's ridiculous. As much as I would like to say, hey, there's all these, and there are some, there are all these illegal Mexicans out there waving these flags. They're paid protesters. They look like brand new flags, by the way. They want to tick us off so much. Just one person to go out there and kill somebody. We just pray that it's not a kid or a baby. Someone. It's just craziness. They want all this to happen. It's happening in a small area. Here is the police chief from L.A., McDonald.
Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people. We've seen people with hammers, and you've broadcasted, breaking the bollards behind the federal building and taking the rocks, if you will, or pieces of concrete, and throwing them at officers. We've had liquid of who knows what description thrown at officers. There's no limit to what they're doing to our officers.
Sounds familiar, and sounds like all of them. They can ID them, throw them in prison. 6 years at least.
Did you see Donald Trump Jr. retweeted an image that said, "Bring back the rooftop Koreans"?
Nice. I gotta check that
It
out.
refers to, if you don't know what he's talking about, he's referring to Korean American business owners and residents during the 1992 Los Angeles riots who armed themselves and took to the rooftops of local businesses to defend themselves.
No doubt. No doubt about it. It's just amazing. Then you have Maxine Waters. She tells you everything that they want to happen. She is such a fraud. I hope her wig doesn't fall off.
And he's using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there.
All those right-wingers out there.
To be a country of people coming from other places is outrageous. It is horrible. And we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can. Because I think he's up to creating martial law. He even alluded to
the National Guard here.
What do you think
about for what?
What do you think about the National Guard being here, Trump deploying them and not our own governor?
Well, the thing about it is, I don't know why they're here with guns. Whom are they going to shoot, and for what? Are you going to shoot a kid running away just because they're afraid of them? Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Are you? What?
That's exactly what she wants to happen. And I don't know why they have guns out there. People are blowing up cars and throwing bombs and commercial fireworks. I have no idea. Oh my God. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Interesting. Elon posting on X this morning a message from DJT saying that Mayor Karen Bass and Newsom need to apologize to the people of California. Agree there, and the people of LA. Pope Leo is calling for open borders to end hatred. Here we go again, just like Francis. Oh my goodness, part of the problem. Thank you, Leo. Nice job.
Do you have an audio clip? Is he playing
don't
that?
have that. I was
waiting for that to jump in because Just take a second. Anybody, whenever the Pope talks about open borders, just go look. Takes 30 seconds at the immigration standards for Vatican City. Now, this is a Catholic papal state. They could run that thing any way they want to.
Yes,
right? It is their country.
Wait a minute. It's not wide open?
Surprisingly not.
How difficult it is.
In fact, it's a heck of a lot more restrictive than what we got going on over here.
Oh, I'm sure. It's probably 20 layers. There's no way you're getting in there, right?
Exactly.
Oh, man, I love it. Investigators are looking into the deaths of 3 people in Adams County. Friday morning, deputies encountered a man armed with a knife who refused to surrender and was ultimately shot and killed. Police then found a married couple dead inside the home. No deputies were injured, and those involved in the shooting have been placed on leave pending an investigation. 1 person is dead after their kayak capsized in the Arkansas River. A spokesperson for the Parks and Wildlife says that it happened Friday, where a second kayaker was able to make it to shore. A witness jumped in to help pull the victim out of the water and started CPR. Investigators are treating this as a tragic accident. News brought to you by Lair Fireplace and Patio, Denver's premier source for everything fireplace, patio, and grills. Locally owned and operated since 1954. Online at lairfireplacepatio.com. The Mets beat the Rockies 13-5. Giants at Coors tomorrow night for a series. The Thunder run past the Pacers in Game 2 of the NBA Championship. It heads back to Indy for Games 3 and 4, tied at 1. French Open, Carlos Alcaraz pulled off a comeback thriller to win. On the women's side, Coco Gauff took the crown. 51 in Aurora, 49 in Arvada, 52 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. They have kicked off the week. It is Monday morning. Blake Olson, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast here in Denver on this early Monday. A few passing clouds this morning, temperatures around 55 by daybreak. For the rest of your Monday, mostly sunny with a buildup of clouds this afternoon and evening with 20% chance for showers and thunderstorms, highs in the mid-70s. For tonight, mostly clear, lows down to 55 under sunny skies. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. I'm meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy, good weekend.
Yeah, busy.
Lots of soccer? Is there still soccer? Is there ever an off-season for soccer?
Well, there was soccer, but there isn't an off-season. You know why? Because there's lots of money. And it's one of the worst things, in my opinion, in international soccer is as soon as you end the season, they go on there's either a tournament or tours. And so either the teams go out as club teams and they have tours, or you have some sort of a weird tournament. There was a weird UEFA European tournament. So it was national teams that were playing in England, in Europe. and they had the final yesterday in Germany, and it was Spain-Portugal, and that was remarkable. That was really interesting. Portugal ended up winning, and that was great because Spain has been kind of a dominant inside the continent, but it went back, and Spain kept scoring, and then Portugal would come back and ended 2-2 in regulation time. They played extra time, nothing happened, and the sell was Ronaldo, who's 40, is on Portugal, and Lamine Yamal, who's 17, who's on Spain. And so it was this idea of the old generation, the new generation.
Ronaldo is that old.
Oh, I know, yeah. and he scored. And he scored. He scored the tying goal to push it into extra time. So he got his money's worth. He's definitely still got value. So, yeah, it was interesting to watch. Did that. Watched a lot of pro wrestling, caught up on some other TV shows. Had to record way too many radio shows because there was a scheduling problem. So I had to quick do a radio show in a different time slot yesterday, which was fun. Yeah, but it was busy. Very, very busy. How about yours? How's your weekend?
Oh, we got rodeo, brother.
Oh, excellent. How's the rodeo?
Rodeo season kicked off. I'm so happy. It's the best season. I think it's the best sport in America.
Oh, it's fantastic.
There's none of the woke stuff happening in rodeo, and then it's just Americana. It's beer. It's cowboys and cowgirls. And
so how was the rodeo?
It was great.
Yeah?
It was great. I mean, it's like I said, there's two types of rodeos. There's PBR, NFR, National Western Stock Show, where everybody stays on the bull for 8 seconds. Yeah. And then you get local rodeo. We were out at Elizabeth Stampede, and it is Bob from Maplewood Lane is going to do his best. Oh, half a second, and bring in the gurney.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And your daughter arrived home after the mission trip. That's fantastic.
She's back home from her mission trip, which is great.
What was the thing that she talked about the most after she got home from the mission trip? What's the thing that resonated with her the most?
How happy she is back to be in America.
Yeah? Oh, nice. Okay.
So she had a great time. She was in parts of Africa and got to meet great people and the work that's happening over there. But like any kid who goes away from the United States for the first time, you kind of come back and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, we got it good. In the sense that we have running water. It's a good reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Indoor plumbing, running water. Yeah.
It is a good reminder. And I think I always think travel's good. Get outside, see how the rest of the world lives, appreciate what you have, gives you a new perspective, that type of thing, and then what you can do to help people as well.
Yeah, I still remember having a conversation with the kids, and they're like, what's the most significant, invention of the 20th century, et cetera. And like, that's indoor plumbing?
Yeah, right. Right.
That's a huge one.
I was reminding folks, I saw this the other day too. Abraham Lincoln never took a hot shower.
Yeah, never.
It hadn't been invented yet.
No.
But I think he could have sold his bathwater.
Yeah,
we might be back to that conversation.
Yeah, we might have to. We'll have to see.
I heard she sold out.
Oh my God, that's fantastic! Yeah, I bet it did.
Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney. I was at a small artisan neighborhood market with some of the kids yesterday, running around because if they pop up in the neighborhood, we want to go and support the people that show up. Got some amazing beef jerky, some really ridiculous earrings for one of the girls, which was fun, and there was an artisan soap maker, much like our friend Priscilla Ron. And I'm sitting there going, and I'm looking at that going, do I talk to you about the... No, I can't. I can't do bathwater soap with you. So I didn't. But yeah, they're handing out samples and stuff. And so I grabbed a couple of samples just as a reminder, just to kind of...
I got a text message from Priscilla Ron Friday.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. But she basically said, I did the math. So an average bathtub holds 50 to 70 gallons of water. That seems like a lot, but that's right. One tub is enough for 5,000 4-ounce bars of soap, so it took one bath.
Wow, one bath.
One bath of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater to
honestly,
make all those soap bars.
That's fairly efficient.
I thought she had to jump into a video.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, one bath and a bunch of soap bars.
Well,
yeah, okay.
Jeff and Bill are back, and we've got John Decker coming up here in just a few minutes. He's going to update us on the latest on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Elon Musk tweeting late last night. Some are retweets of Donald Trump's statements regarding Los Angeles. Is the feud over? We'll get the latest. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, White House correspondent John Decker is the reporter who first asked President Trump about Elon Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill. Is their feud cooling off now? I noticed last night Donald Trump retweeting a little bit, Elon Musk retweeting some of Donald Trump's comments on Truth Social, or could it get even more contentious? John Decker is available this morning, giving us the insight on that. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Good morning.
Hey, good to be with you. Thanks for having me on today.
So is this billion-dollar feud all kicked off because of your questions?
Well, I certainly didn't help matters. I asked a question to the president in the Oval Office last Thursday while the president was meeting with the German chancellor. I asked the president about his relationship with Elon Musk, his criticism of the big, beautiful bill, whether that impedes passage in the U.S. Senate, and the president gave me an 8-minute long answer to that question, and then, of course, really led to the back and forth that we saw play out not only on Thursday, but also on Friday and throughout the weekend between the president and Elon Musk.
Sometimes it just takes a match. You're listening to John Decker, White House correspondent. So your analysis over the weekend of where this feud's going, it seemed to cool off, but then now I'm seeing Elon Musk retweet some of Donald Trump's comments. So your thoughts on where it might stand moving forward?
Well, the president is very interesting in the sense that, I've seen him patch things up before. And the perfect example of that is the fact that Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. Think about the terrible things, personal things that Donald Trump and Marco Rubio said about each other when they were running for the Republican nomination back in 2016. They patched things up, so anything's possible. But right now, there is no relationship between Trump and Musk. It's kaput, and the relationship is not in a good place. But it's possible, certainly. It takes two to tango. If both of them want to repair that relationship, I think they're both capable of that.
That's John Decker, NBC Radio White House correspondent, joining Jeff and Bill live. Got a question for you, John. Can Elon find some friends? And what I mean by that is, with this feud from Trump, is he going to be accepted again by the liberals and the Democrats that were once fans of Tesla? Or will he eventually be welcomed back into the MAGA fold? Or third option, will Elon find himself politically and maybe even affecting his businesses being pretty much an orphan? What's your opinion?
Well, he's spoken about and put on social media posts that indicate maybe he'll start a third political party. That's awfully tough to do so. But if anybody can do it, Elon Musk can do it because he's got the money to do it. He's got the money to fund it. Elon Musk spent $250 million supporting Donald Trump in his run for the White House, and that's nothing to a multi-billionaire like Elon Musk. So that's an option for Elon Musk going forward. I think he's evaluating what the path forward is for him right now, given that the state of the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is not very good right now. But a few months from now, it could be in a different place. We'll just have to wait and see. I think a lot of it also depends in terms of what happens with that big, beautiful bill, whether it passes the U.S. Senate.
Yep, that's John Decker, White House correspondent. Kicked off a lot of this by asking President Trump about Elon Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill. We'll continue to track this. Hope to have John back. John, great work. Thank you so much for your time joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Thank you.
All right, we've got some questions about this because I thought it was pretty cold until I just went and looked at Elon Musk's X account. And 10 hours ago, when I was fast asleep, he retweeted Donald Trump's statement about this. And this is what we're going to talk the next hour. Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of Los Angeles for the absolutely horrible job that they have done. And this now includes the ongoing LA riots. These are not protesters. They are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. By the way, Trump saying that he's going to forbid protesters from wearing masks, which I don't think is going to go too far.
I don't think he can do that.
I don't think he can do that.
There's no
either,
way
right?
that he can do that. Yeah, he can't dictate what you wear during a protest or anywhere else. So no.
And then there was a Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk retweet that took place. Okay, so Trump puts out this original statement: a once great American city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation operations. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, in coordination with all other relevant departments and agencies, to take all action necessary to liberate Los Angeles from the migrant invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored. The illegals will be expelled. And Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to this matter! Exclamation point. I love when he hits posts that way. J.D. Vance retweets it and writes, this moment calls for decisive leadership. The president will not tolerate rioting and violence, which was then retweeted by Elon Musk with 2 American flags. So, thought it was a pretty cold, icy relationship. Now you got 2 retweets. Are they coming back in the fold, Bill? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think Elon needs somebody to buy his cars. And the president was selling him on the front lawn. He doesn't want to be necessarily politically homeless. And it's interesting that Donald Trump even threatened him, saying that if you supported Democrats, there would be a price to pay for that, which is odd, but very authoritarian of him. It tracks based on what he's looking at. I mean, Elon has gone basically full MAGA. He brought his brand into it. That's where Twitter is right now after he took over. So it would not make any sense for him to journey outside of that realm. So while he will throw a temper tantrum, it's pretty much what you'd expect. And I was doing some reading over the weekend, and they said a lot of this fallout came from the physical altercation between Besant and Elon. And there's some more details about that as far as...
Tell us about that, because I don't know too much about the details on that, and I've heard it hasn't been confirmed. But
the details that I'm seeing that seem that there's more and more little things coming out as there's a disagreement inside of the Oval Office, and basically Trump sides with Besant, and Elon is upset about that, and they are sniping at each other as they're walking out of the Oval down the hall, going back and forth. And I'm trying to remember the exact timeline that's been reported. And again, I haven't been able to verify this or anything else, but what I've seen reported is it gets a little bit personal, and I forgot the exact timeline. It's either that Besant challenges Elon on, you said you could cut $1 trillion, you're a fraud. You can't do this. And at that point, Elon got physical and rammed his shoulder into the middle of Besant's chest. That's as much of the physical altercation as I saw.
So
not
the black eye. The black eye isn't attributed to this.
Not yet. And again, there's the questions about a pushing or anything else.
Love that.
I would too. That would be part of it. But so far, not necessarily attributed to reporting. I've seen people speculate, but nothing that I trust deep enough. And I haven't seen enough verification for me to go that far. I think that is still just speculation. But I trust enough reporting that Elon did. And they said it was like an old man doing a rugby tackle. Basically, he kind of came in and goes, "Ah!" and shoved into him and ran into him with one of his shoulders and hit Besant in the middle of the chest. And at that point, a whole bunch of people came in like, "Hey, gentlemen, kids, stop fighting. Kids, can we just go to run corners and stop being, little tiny whiner babies?" So, but that seems to be it. But that would make sense.
It doesn't seem to be that bad.
No.
I mean, it's just kind of like I've had that happen to me.
Yeah, but I think that would make sense why someone in Besant's position versus where Elon is, that one of them has to be the winner inside of that political sphere. And so Besant, because he is confirmed, Besant because he's officially part of the cabinet, he holds the cards. And so that's why some of the speculation is that this started the ouster of Elon, that he was kind of pushed more at an arm's length. And then when Elon saw that he was pushed out a little bit, but then, his influence was waning just a touch. He was upset about that, but then the big, beautiful bill, and he decided to go, the scorched earth, which really weird. Really weird how much that went from like 0 to 60.
How
right. Quickly he went that way.
To me, it's not super surprising in the sense that I've met a few of these guys. They're what I refer to as titans, and I in fact worked for one at one point. And they are oftentimes just all over the place, and you're trying to corral them into. We were working on a film premiere. I was working on a great movie, and he wanted a premiere the following day in New York City, in Times Square, and we're all scrambling to pull it together, fly to New York, invite guests, get the red carpet out, all this stuff. And it was just kind of way overwhelming. But then all of a sudden they would pivot, and this guy was very successful in his industry, but he was also investing in films, and so we're trying to adjust to that type of thing. And so I just remember thinking to myself at the point, I think I was 27 at that point in my life, just going, these guys think at a totally different level, and they're incredibly demanding, and they push their teams and their people very, very hard, and you have to be willing to go all the way with them. But one of the other aspects I noticed about them was that they can pivot on a dime, totally change their mind on something. And so to see Elon Musk go from I love Trump to I hate Trump to I'm retweeting Trump doesn't actually surprise me when you're dealing with those types of people, because that's just the kind of personality that they have. So
that makes sense.
They're rare. They're super rare, but they're very successful because they have that type of personality and can push their teams that hard and can drive them. But one of the aspects of their personality is that they can just pivot 90 degrees, 180 degrees on a dime, and everybody around them has to adjust to it. So,
one of the interesting things from this argument is NASA has reached out to other private providers just in case they need to replace SpaceX. I found that really interesting.
Well, and I kind of go, look at what Musk has done in the last 5 days with regards to Trump.
Oh, yeah.
He's all over the place. And so if Trump kills off that relationship, well, now you got to find somebody else. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Part of it. Well, give us a call. Join the conversation. Where do you think this is going to go between Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Is Elon Musk trying to mend some fences here, retweeting Donald Trump and his comments with regards to the riots in Los Angeles? Or will this break forever? Do you see them not getting back together, not being as close as they used to? Is this just two dudes wrestling out on the grass, getting all itchy, and then they'll get over it and move on? These are men. We're looking at this. I saw one comment saying that a lot of the analyzing of this relationship is rooted in kind of the feminism that's taken over our culture. Oh, no, they're fighting. What could possibly be happening? Whereas if we were more masculine culture, we just go, these are just two dudes, throwing some fisticuffs around, throwing their shoulders into other guys. They'll be over it. They'll move forward.
Yeah. Does the fact that it happens inside of the workspace matter?
Ooh, that's a good question, too.
And when the filter is, these are just men being men. Okay. How physical are you allowed to be in the office then? Because if this is just men being men, that's the question I've got. The idea that, these are just manly men. I'm sorry. I'm not certain that a physical confrontation inside the office is kosher.
Well, here's what I would love to hear from our listeners. On that point, Bill, have you ever seen anyone throw down in office?
Yes.
You have?
Oh, yeah. I've seen people fight in the parking lot. Yes. I've seen people punch each other in the office. Yes. Yes. Again, I've spent 3 decades in radio. It's a little bit different. It's not like anything else. It's a little different.
Tell us about it.
Oh, I remember people getting into arguments over an advertiser and fighting with each other, and someone is angry about someone else taking an advertiser, and that came to blows. I remember sitting in a room. It's a big conference room, and there's probably 20 of us there, and the person that is in charge, pretty much the general manager, is going off and saying some things and goes personally after one of the people in the room. And that person stands up and he goes, fine, let's take this outside, and walks out. And all of a sudden, the general manager got very, very, very cold feet. But the manager was insinuating, I can kick your ass. I will take you out. I will do this. And the person stands up and is like, all right, let's go, and starts taking off their watch. And you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen in an underground parking structure, I've seen 2 people arguing over, basically, it was a promotion that was going on, and someone punched the other one. Yes. Yeah, I've seen people wrestle in conference rooms. Yes, I've seen all of that. The big one is when there were 2 advertisers, and one person thought the other, they were in different day parts, and one person thought the other was trying to steal their advertiser. And what they were trying to do is, okay, there's an idea inside of radio, and you know this, Jeff, that once you get the advertiser writing a check, it's easier to get them to write a larger check than it is to find someone else to write a new check. So there's about expanding what the ad buy is. And this person was upset that the expanding of the ad buy wasn't on their show. It was going to go to expanding it into having the afternoon person also reading some stuff. And that was, you're trying to steal this just like you did my last client, such and such, and the client liked the other person in the afternoon better. So, yeah, that got a little wrestly out.
You remember the movie
lot.
Anchorman?
Yes, yes. That's why I laugh so hard, because I've seen it. I've seen that.
The different news agencies fight, and then Spanish station.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's the thing that's the part that made that so funny, is because there's a kernel of truth there. There's an absolute kernel of truth. There is, it was in the hallway. Oh gosh, and these are still radio personalities that are working here, so I will not remember their name. I will not mention their names. But 2 big FM radio names got into a fight in the hallway at the radio station, and it was like boom against the walls and knockdown, drag out. They were not able to patch it up for about 13 years, and it ended up that one of them got a promotion, and that person that got the promotion fired the other one, because they remember the fight.
Snap.
Yeah, they remember the fight. So,
now, I know Blake Olson, who worked in news for years, probably has some good stories. We'll have to ask him about that when we come back for You Choose the News. Text message in from Andrew. I think Trump and Elon are the ones acting like teenage girls, not society.
That's a good point. Good point, Andrew.
That's funny. No, I think they'll look, just knowing guys like I've known in my past that are like this and the way they think, they'll bounce back randomly out of nowhere and be fine, and they're just moving forward. I mean, Elon Musk already texting and tweeting about Donald Trump right now and supporting him. So
he just can't quit him. So I had to do that. Had to do that.
That was funny. All right. Feel free to join the conversation. Phone lines 303-696-1971 or text us on the Dan Caplis Law and Text line at 720-819-5115. 720-819-5115. You know, I was a river guide for 5 summers. Not too many fights there because you could end up with a drowning, I guess.
Exactly.
But, you know, I didn't see it there too much.
People can use rocks. That's different.
Let's talk Black Eyed Pea, guys. I love this restaurant. Locally owned and operated by Steve and Michelle. My entire family loves it. When I have lunch with friends, we often go to the Black Eyed Pea right here in Parker. And they're like, man, this food reminds me of my grandma's home-cooked meals that we would have. It brings back memories because it's such good family-friendly comfort food. Home-style cooking at its best. They got 8 locations. There's sure to be one near you. You want to take your family to eat there because it covers all 3 generations. Grandparents, my generation, and our kids will all find something that they love to eat at the Black Eyed Pea. Go online at blackeyedpeacolorado.com and check out their featured menu that they have throughout different seasons in Colorado. They have a special barbecue, burgers, and potato menus. All special menus there. You got to go to blackeyedpeacolorado.com. They've built a reputation in Colorado for the best home-cooked meal away from home. They also do catering. So if you got a dinner party, rehearsal dinner, wedding reception, or company event, make it a success with Black Eyed Pea Catering. And no matter what the occasion, Black Eyed Pea gift cards are always great for your special someone. Birthday favors or holiday presents, they've got you covered. I love everything about this restaurant. I know you will as well. Support local like I do. Keep it in Colorado. Visit the Black Eyed Pea near you. All right, we've got You Choose the News. Coming up, you're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's that time of the Monday morning where people really need it, Bill. Little you choose the news to get them going.
Yes, it's that time of the morning where we get to play America's favorite fake radio news game show. It's called You Choose the News. I've scoured the interwebs for mere moments to find really ridiculous stories about us humans, giving them even dumber headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show. Why in the world would we do something this ridiculous this early in the morning? Well, we have to do it this early in the morning because nobody in charge is awake at this hour. So yes, when Jeff and I are left unsupervised, this is what happens. Nobody wakes up until 7, and we are going to take full advantage. And as always, as we learned in high school, make sure you have someone else that you can make the fall guy. Today, the fall guy is Blake Olson from the news department. I'm teasing him, but yes. Alrighty.
What an honor.
Yes, what
Blake,
an honor.
you ever get in a fight, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'll
Channel
give you a
9
story.
fight?
Channel 9 fights.
I'll give you a story later.
Ooh.
We don't have time in this segment.
Okay.
All right. Okay, then. Here we go. Gentlemen, here are your headlines this morning. Headline number 1, boring. Headline number 2, it's your spouse's fault. Headline number 3, self-checkout. And headline number 4, hide and seek champions.
Boring.
Yeah, boring. Back in the 18th century, English writer Samuel Johnson once wrote, "He is not only dull himself, he is the cause of dullness in others." And that is a sentiment eagerly embraced by the Dull Men's Club. It's a unique club that has several million members worldwide, and they stay connected on Facebook. Yes, it's a club where men wear their dullness with absolute pride. In fact, the duller, the better. They say on the Dull Men's Club, the Australian branch, if you post here that contains Bitmoji avatars, those things are way too exciting and will probably get deleted. Make sure you watch the rules. Yes. Recently, Alan Goodwin in the United Kingdom, part of the Dull Men's Club, was worried that seeing a lesser spotted woodpecker in his garden might be a bit too exciting for him and to share with the group. In the same week, a flight tracker struggled to keep his excitement to an acceptable level when military jets suddenly appeared on his screen. No, he didn't get to see the jets in person. He just saw little dots on his screen, and he thought that was too exciting. That's what happens in the Dull Men's Club. Yes, it's an embracement of quirky hobbies and just being dull. The founder, Grover Click, it's a pseudonym that was chosen specifically for their dullness. It all started in New York in the 1980s. Click is now 85 and lives in the United Kingdom. When he moved to the United Kingdom in 96, he asked his nephew to build a website for that silly Dull Men's Club I have. Today, they have about 2 million members worldwide.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. This is amazing.
Yes, it's funny.
One person posted a picture of an electric box.
Yes, exactly. It's an embracement of just being dull. I'm like, I think this is hilarious. It's a great idea. For me, it's like the counteracting of all the weird influencers and TikTokers who just are like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And this group is like,
another person
this
posted a picture of a beet.
Yes, just a beat.
And then another, here's a video of someone tying their shoes.
That's awesome.
See, that's the social media influencers we need. Alrighty. Blake Olson, your choice, sir. It's your spouse's fault, self-checkout, or hide-and-seek champs?
Oh, it's your spouse's fault.
Yeah, it's totally your spouse's fault. In a study of newlywed couples, researchers have discovered that depression and anxiety can be passed from one spouse to the other, not just because of what you're doing right now with the guys. It has to do with close contact, especially kissing. In a really interesting new study, the science hippies have investigated whether or not an oral microbiome can be transferred between people while they are kissing. They've seen germs and other viruses be passed through intimate kissing, the ones with the tongues. Now, they say that if you're doing that, it might actually be able to affect your partner's mental health, both positively and negatively. The study screened about 1,700 couples for the presence and absence of insomnia and anxiety. That meant one spouse totally healthy, totally normal. Other one had insomnia with slight anxiety and a bit of depression. After 180 days, the control group that was totally healthy showed insomnia and also a little bit of anxiety and depression. And so the theory behind it is there's actually some chemicals that are released inside of your mouth, some microbiomes, that then when you share them with your partner, they absorb it, so the two of you do end up being like one in more ways than one. Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe
now, physiological synchrony has been documented in other cases, things like that. Anybody that lives with a group of women in the house like I do knows the things when everything happens at the same time. So, yes, not unusual. It does happen that way.
That's right.
So, yeah, kind of cool. But, yeah.
Dude, I just joined the Dull Men's Club.
You're way too exciting.
I had to fill out a little. I had to fill out a little essay that said, "What makes you dull?" I said,
"You filled it out that quickly."
I did one line, and I just said, "I spend my weekend pulling weeds."
And there we go.
And I was immediately accepted.
That's
sure.
awesome.
Of
Member
course.
of the Dolmans Club.
Of course, you're a member of the Dolmans Club. Nicely done, sir. Well done. Well done. Okay, final choice this morning: self-checkout or hide-and-seek champs.
Hide-and-seek champs. Please.
Hide-and-seek champs. Oh, I'm so glad you chose this one. Alrighty. Okay, got a question as we start this one off, and I want the listeners to think about this as well. Jeff Hunt, Blake Olson, how long would you be willing to hide in a public bathroom to see the Super Bowl for free? How long would you hide?
Oh, this is like one of those things where the guys go up on the billboard and they stay up there for like 6 months, right?
So, how long? So, okay, Blake, how long would you be willing to hide in a public toilet in order to get to see the Super Bowl for free? How many hours? How many days?
Other people can still use it?
We'll talk about that. You got to stay in there. We'll say that nobody has to use it. You just have to stay in there. Nobody else uses it,
How
but you have
many
to stay in there.
tickets?
You get to go for free. Just you. You get to go for free, but you got to stay in the bathroom.
Maybe an hour.
Yeah, there we go. Mr. Hunt, can
dude,
you best an hour?
I do a month.
Ooh,
Easy.
damn, a month in a bathroom. Dude, all right. Then
Live broadcast to the Jeff Hill Show.
I want you to hear about a pair of Belgian TikTokers that recently snuck into the Champions League final in Munich, and they got in for free by hiding in the bathroom. The pair snuck into the Allianz Arena the day before. They spent 27 hours in the public stalls. They picked a bathroom. They went into each one of them, chose a stall, and then hung a out of order sign on the outside, and then made sure they had their feet up high. They held on. They brought in backpacks. They had food. They had water. They brought their phones. They had stuff to do. They just had to make sure that they were totally silent every time a member of the staff came in. Yes, they said because the lights were on the entire time, they never got any sleep. They said it was completely and totally uncomfortable. But once fans started to use the toilets they were already sitting in on match day, they left their, sign-adorned cubicles and made their way past the ticket inspectors and joined the 86,000 crowd in the stands for free. What they did is they said they looked specifically for a security guard who was paying the least attention. And so they grabbed a bunch of food and snacks and just wandered by and pretended as if they couldn't find their tickets and just knew where they were going. They sat in the supporters' side of Paris Saint-Germain, who won the game 5-0, and said this was absolutely the most beautiful football match we've ever seen, and we saw it for free. Now,
well done.
If they would have had to pay, tickets were going for, in the nosebleed sections, right around $150, but they would cost you more than $1,500 if you wanted to get close, and they were able to avoid that. So, yes, all by hiding in the bathroom with a piece of tape and a sign that said out of order. And they said the staff came in and out several times. They had to be totally silent. Yeah.
And that's impressive, too, because you notice how you can sometimes just sense people, too?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
you don't have to hear them. You're
no,
just
you
kind of like...
feel them. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel them.
Yep, exactly. So, but they managed to sneak in. So, again, I'm impressed. Blake could make an hour in the bathroom to get the Super Bowl, but Jeff is willing to, do a month.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, Blake...
I am jaded.
We take him up on that. I think we have to.
You've actually been to Super Bowls, Blake.
Yeah.
You've been on the field.
See, I would tell you, Jeff, the best seat is in front of your TV. So.
I think you're probably exactly right. All right, 7 o'clock hour coming up. Rory O'Neill, NBC News national correspondent, is going to join us on the latest happening in Los Angeles with the riots. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is KNUS.